Today's argumentative speech will be against women in combat. Now there's many reasons why women should not be allowed in combat, or just near the front lines. While there's several points, I have narrowed them down to only a few. 1. Women are not physically strong as men are. 2. Sexual harassment would be a major issue. And 3. Problems with mixed-gendered quarters and privacy would create weakness among the troops. Point 1. As stated in the Army Field Manual 7-22, the female standard for the PT test is lower than the males. There's a reason for this. It's because they are not as strong as the males and cannot perform at the same level. Now, while running missions on a deployment, soldiers often carry in excess over 100 pounds of equipment. This photo is the standard fighting load of a soldier. That does not include any extra equipment that they may be required to do their job. As well as carrying a full load, soldiers are often required to carry a fallen comrade out of a firing zone. There is no way that I could trust a female who is smaller than myself to carry me along with all of my equipment out to safety. Even if they could carry me, they would have to take longer than a male soldier would. Now, while some females try to claim that they can keep up with the males, Marine Corps Captain Petronio says otherwise. Captain Petronio is the best the Marines have to offer in terms of soldiering skills. She has seen combat in 2 separate tours to Iraq and Afghanistan, and states that her body deteriorated and wore down much faster than her male counterparts. Secondly, the amount of sexual harassment and abuse would skyrocket if females were allowed in combat MOSs or jobs. While on a deployment, men are away from their significant others for months at a time. If an attractive female were to be in the same unit, the man would most likely take advantage of that female. There's already a major issue with harassment while women serve in a support unit for the infantry, so putting them in service next to the man would only make it worse. As shown in this picture, while preparing to enter and clear a room or a building, soldiers are tightly pressed or stacked against each other. Often, soldiers will, to signal each other silently and using minimal movement, soldiers will touch another person's butt or thighs or personal space. If this were to be done with males and females together, obviously many issues would arise. Also, while living in field conditions, building their tents can't be set up, so soldiers are often required to change in the open in proximity with each other. If a female were to be in the same situation, either she would have to go somewhere else or change in front of her male team members. If she went somewhere else, she could risk the security of the mission. If she chose to change in front of the males, well, you can figure that one out. And that also kind of goes into my third point. Separate quarters and a need for privacy would create weakness and dissension among the troops. If available, separate quarters for females would create a distance between the males and females. That's because whenever soldiers shower, use the same restroom, and sleep in front of each other and right next to someone, they become more comfortable with each other, and a tighter team is created. If females were to be thrown into the mix, then the unit would not be as cohesive, and people would feel alienated because they did not have the same bond with everyone. Not only would the unit not be as tightly knit, but when medical issues arise with a soldier regarding their genitals, a male soldier would not feel comfortable letting a female know, and vice versa. Now, while it may seem insignificant and minor, it really isn't. The soldier feels that they cannot tell another person in their unit what's going on with their body, or anything with their body, then the health of that soldier and security of the unit is at risk. If a medic were to have to perform a medical procedure on a female counterpart that involves baring the chest area in public, it happens quite often, as you can see in this picture. Her dignity and privacy would be violated by all those around her. Now, the final point that I did not mention earlier is from a biblical perspective. I saved this one for last because majority of the time people don't pay attention. In the secular realm, they won't pay attention to what the Bible has to say on this issue. So Genesis 2:21 says, "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and closed up the place with flesh." In this verse, it shows where a female should be. The Lord didn't take the bone from the head so that the woman would be his master, nor did he take it from his foot for him to walk upon. No. The Lord took the bone from his side and under his arm and close to his heart, so that the man could protect and love the woman when needed. Throughout the Bible, the most famous leaders were men. Now, there was 3 or 4 females, but the majority of it was men. God designed men to be the leaders, to be the defenders, the fighters, for them to take responsibility of those around him. While many women wish to perform the same tasks as men, God gave them different tasks. In Proverbs 31, it speaks of what a wife should be. It says that a woman should support the spouse and take care of the family while the man is out in town doing business. Both the man and the woman have challenging jobs. If they work together as a team, then victory can be achieved. While I am all for women's rights and equal opportunity, due to many reasons, some of which I have touched upon, women should not be allowed on the front lines or with the infantry.